You're watching The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are The Breakfast Club. Now we have in the building, you might know him, he was the safety for Harvard.
Never knew that.
Learn something every day.
We know him as that.
Dr. Oz, ladies and gentlemen.
I did not know you played football, Dr. Oz.
Yeah, I did. I came up because we were talking about the Jets and Fitzpatrick, who played quarterback for Harvard a couple years after me, obviously. Mm-hmm. But one of the reasons I went into medicine was because of football. Because I loved understanding how my body functioned. I realized that the different everyone would eat food at the place called the Harvard Union. Mm-hmm. It's where all the freshmen, when the freshman Harvard Yard folks would go. And I realized that if I ate good food that's good for me, I'd play better. And if I ate the miserable stuff that I'd grown up eating, oftentimes I didn't perform so well.
Sluggish.
Sluggish is the word.
When did you diagnose yourself with CTE?
Not yet. It's coming up soon. When it happens, I won't know it's happening though.
Gotcha.
Well, let's talk about the concussions in football since we're talking about them. Would you advise your children or your son to play football?
Or would you want them to? If
So
they
my
wanted to
son
play?
is captain of his football team.
There you go.
In
There's
high
your
school.
answer.
Okay.
And but here's my thought. So I actually I made a little snippet for the NFL a couple of years ago because this question was coming up a lot. And I am acutely aware of CTE, chronic traumatic encephalopathy, and concussions. I had concussions when I was playing. All that said and done, what I got out of playing contact sports, because it's not just football, it's lacrosse and hockey. And my youngest daughter got a bad concussion playing basketball. She was captain of her basketball team in high school.
Lacrosse.
Lacrosse is a
a lot
tough
of people
game.
play, and people are whacking you with a stick. In football, you
and
can't
that ball is hard.
In football, you can only use your body. In lacrosse, you can use a stick to hurt the person. Mm-hmm. So, but I learned a lot about life playing contact sports, right. And I think there are lots of metaphors that you can extrapolate. And I think that if you're thoughtful about the injuries that might happen, and quickly get out of the game if you are having injuries. Some people have more than others. It helps. The other thing is professional football is a whole different level of head contact than high school football and high school sports.
Love head contact in high school.
Right. Well, I don't think it's, we try to coach all across the country, make sure kids don't put their head first. Right. It still happens. I know it. But there's a lot more awareness to concussions than there was ever before. I've done shows on this. There's little concussion scales that parents can use for their kids so they can tell if their kids are having an issue and get them out. But there's a risk. It's still there. But at what point do you draw the line? That's the real issue, right? Boxing was a line when I was a kid. I mean, I boxed as well. I wouldn't, that's a dangerous sport, I think, at many levels.
You boxed too, Dr. Oz?
Crazy.
Knew?
Who would have known? It was crazy.
I just thought you was all brains.
The brains came because I stopped playing some of those sports later on. I got out of
You also played women's basketball before you guys came in here.
That's right. I played basketball with women. No, we were talking about Common, who was supporting your
and
juice.
water polo?
You play water polo too?
I played water polo too.
Goodness
Yeah.
gracious.
That's all I did was play sports.
All American.
School got in the way.
Now, what is this thing that you brought us? We thank you for the gifts, but we see you brought us a gift.
I saw him posting this. I was excited to get it.
Yeah, this is the ResMed S Plus device. We have a partnership with them, and we're giving away $1 million of these devices on the show.
Really?
And the cool thing about them, I think they're a fantastic device for tracking how you sleep, but they don't just look at how you're moving. They actually watch you as you're sleeping. And it allows you to figure out if you're breathing the right way. Do you have restless leg syndrome? Are you not falling asleep? Are you waking up too early? Are there sounds that are waking you up? What is the temperature of the room? What's going on in your bedroom, in that atmosphere that's causing you to have problems sleeping? And the reason it's important to me is I want to gain 1 million nights of sleep data. I want to have a lot of people get these devices inexpensively or for free, hook them up and use them for you and your family. And let's figure out why we're not sleeping as a country. Because when we don't sleep, we pay a price with high blood pressure, number one cause of aging. We gain weight. We have problems with our memory. That's a lot worse, I bet, than hitting your head playing sports is not sleeping, causing Alzheimer's and loss of creativity. You also can't cope with life as well. Leads to depression. Your immune system gets weak, so you get the flu, but you also get cancer more often. So let's deal with the most underappreciated problem in America, which is sleep. So go to DrOz.com or SleepScore.com. Get some of these devices. Get them into your house. Use them. And then I'm getting the information, so I'll share the information back with everybody. So Charlamagne, for example, has got one of these devices.
I do. I'm trying to figure out how to hook it up.
I'm going to help you.
Yeah.
We're going to come to you. We're doing intervention at your home, and I'm also going to hook up your DVR while I'm there.
Yes.
Now,
I have a question.
What temperature should you sleep? Because you said temperature. What's a good temperature that people should sleep?
That's a great question.
68 degrees or less.
Oh, tell that to my wife.
Yeah, if you were fighting with your spouse over the temperature of the room, whoever wants it colder wins. And one other little trick, put socks on. Because if you're wearing socks, the coldness in the room won't bother you as much.
It keeps you warm.
It lets your core temperature get colder. You're going to hibernate at night. And subtle things keep you up. Like some people are unaware. They're woken up by
Sweat wakes me up. Like
Yes.
If I sweat like a lot, I have this one comforter that when I put it over me, for whatever reason, it makes me sweat. And I wake up sweating, and sweat will wake me up.
You know what else?
Most
The
people.
TV on. People sleep with the TV on. I can't sleep with the TV
That's
on.
one of the worst habits we have.
I
In fact,
can't stand when people sleep
checking
with
and
the TV
there's little every night before you go to bed, we ask you a couple basic questions to help track you. So we want to know if caffeine keeps you up, if the TV keeps you up, you're looking at electronics late at night. Some people don't sleep unless they exercise, and which is I find for myself. If I do something physically active during the day, I can sleep so well at night.
Right.
If I just sit around all day long, I can't sleep. So once we figure out what's going on in your life, we can customize advice.
Like
There's a whole
what time you eat at night sometimes. That can
another
keep
good
you up.
example. You want to generally sleep 3 hours after you finish dinner, but some people get away with dinner and coffee at night, others don't. So if you get away with it, why hassle you over it? But if you can't get away, some people can't have coffee even in the afternoon.
Now, I'm glad we're doing this because one of my friends actually specifically asked me to ask you a question about sleep. Now, he said that he keeps on waking up in the middle of the night with anxiety, and he'll wake up like several times throughout the night and feeling like he can't breathe, and I don't know what's going on. He said, can you ask Dr. Oz, what is it that keeps waking me up like I'm anxious or I have like a problem?
Now, just a thug friend, has he ever killed somebody?
No.
That could be it.
Bad dreams.
So the tracking devices measure what kind of sleep you're getting. Is it REM sleep, deep sleep, or light sleep? You need to have all three. REM sleep is dream sleep, and oftentimes anxieties will play out during REM sleep. So the dreams you have, even if you don't remember them, will be pretty vivid. Now, you're paralyzed when you have REM sleep. Your body is unable to move. Otherwise, you act out your dreams. So if your friend is having nightmares or events that are revealing anxieties, there's probably dreams associated with them. Interpreting those dreams can be helpful.
Okay.
But you don't just wake up spontaneously without something that's not being resolved deep inside of you. Again, that's one of the benefits of sleep. You reboot the system. And if you don't do that right, it just builds itself up during the day.
So you're paralyzed during REM sleep? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I can't move.
Or I should be jumping off buildings and
I thought that was the hag riding you. So how come? So when you pee in your sleep,
Yeah.
that's not REM sleep.
No.
Like when you have the dream that you're peeing.
Yeah, no. But first of all, most people don't actually pee when they're dreaming that they're peeing. But there are some people who have that, and you don't need to be able to move to pee. That's an involuntary motion, like breathing, right? I mean, you breathe even though you can't move. You can't voluntarily move. Your body is unable to act out what you're dreaming during REM sleep. Now, other types of sleep you can. In normal light sleep and deep sleep, you can move around, but your body doesn't want to. It's trying to relax. It's trying to rest your brain.
So what about when
wet
you're dreaming
dreams?
that you're having sex?
Yeah.
Exactly.
What
And
about
you
wet
wake up
You
dreams?
guys are on the
with semen all over your
same
stomach.
wavelength. I mean, they looked at each other. Love was in their eyes, and then
No.
I heard wet and REM. So again,
Wet REM.
But it's one of those iconic human needs, and if you're not getting it, you're going to start dreaming about it, and
You're
it actually,
backed up.
Yeah, you're backed up, and it starts to get louder and louder until you eventually want to act out on it. But people, you talked about. Wet dreams are real. It's not. Some people urinate in their dreams. Other people,
Bust one off.
exactly in
Now,
their
this
dreams.
Saturday, you're giving a bunch of these away.
We're giving a bunch away, and sometimes these things can be expensive for people depending on their budget. So they're super discounted if they're not free. But they're out there. Take advantage of them. It's the closest thing I can do to walking into your home and trying to help you get better sleep. But what I really need folks to do is use it on themselves, then share it with their friends. We want to just collect information on people. We want to understand what is it that's messing with it. I'll give you an example. This weekend was daylight savings time, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So we looked at the data from these devices. The average American slept 31 more minutes with daylight savings. Now, what does that mean? Putting the clock back an hour, which basically gave you an extra hour in your day, helped you get 31 minutes of sleep. That's a huge payoff.
I felt way more awake today than I have in the past couple months.
Yeah, which is fantastic. Most Americans do. Now, when we spring forward, we lose the hour, we have more car accidents. People feel badly, they're not as creative. So it just reinforces that if you control your destiny, if you could carve out one extra hour a weekend, you'd feel the way you do now, all the time.
What about having sex before you go to bed? How good is that for sleep?
For most people, it's good. But for some people, it's not. Again, you can track that as well. And I guess it could even see you maybe, so and keep track for you.
Puts me right to sleep.
Yeah, but most men feel sleepy after sex. Most women feel energized by
Yeah,
sex.
you gotta clean the house, make something to eat.
Exactly. So
That's because girls don't really orgasm. Like, so guys
That's not why.
guys got off, but the girl didn't. So they're
Well,
like,
you gotta
okay,
work harder, Charlamagne.
I need to finish. That's what happens usually.
That's your house.
Well, so when we look
No, it's in
at longevity and sex, it's sort of cool. Men is only about having sex because they ejaculate every time usually.
Yes.
Women, it's not about numbers of time; it's about the quality of sex.
That's it.
And so it is. You could play it out. You could role play,
You
but
can play with it.
play with.
And plus the cut.
By the way, he
cuddling
was on my
after.
show this week. We're talking about men's health.
I saw him
Yep.
playing with like 2 balls. or
Yeah, he
something.
had.
What was the 2 balls he was playing with?
Well, he
Break
was
it down
gonna,
to
he
him,
was going to
Dr.
use his, and I didn't want him to, so
Right.
I made him synthetic fake balls so he can demonstrate how he plays with his balls. But the reason we did it was because all week long we had this partnership with the Today Show. We were talking about Movember, men's health. We did this huge survey looking at what's going on with men. So what are they admitting? What are they not admitting? So most men don't want to touch themselves. They don't want to examine themselves, even though testicular cancer is in young men is one of the most common cancers. So Charlemagne kindly came on and offered to fondle these synthetic balls.
Did he
So
suck him?
No, he didn't. That would
know
have been
what's
awkward.
funny?
Don't you think?
I
love you said that though.
2
Did
weeks
he suck him
prior,
and he
I
said
did a
what's funny?
physical, and my doctor actually
Sucked him?
showed me how to do testicular
He
cancer
did?
checks. Wait, so she's a woman, yeah.
Oh, just the two of you?
Yeah,
I like that.
yeah. She taught me how to do it.
Well, you're supposed to do it in a shower or in a tub when they're floating.
Is that when you cough?
No, coughs for hernia.
Okay.
We do it as part of the same exam, but you don't need to examine yourself for a hernia. That'd be uncomfortable. But your testicles, when you get into the shower, you just feel them. See what's everything in there. If you feel like it's like a marble, they're supposed to feel like a walnut. 2 walnuts, right? And notice the left one's lower than the right one. They're supposed to be off so they don't bang into each other.
Oh.
You know, the word avocado means testicle.
Really?
In Aztec, yeah.
I don't eat avocados.
Because avocados
You don't
grow
eat
in
avocados?
pairs. One's lower than the other, and so they don't bang into each other there too. And they have that gritty feeling on the outside, so they feel like testicles. They're bigger than testicles, but they feel like testicles.
So next time I'm in a restaurant, I'm gonna say hold the testicles.
Hold
on my
testicles,
salad.
What if
exactly
you have
right.
like
Testicles on my salad.
elephantiasis?
Elephantiasis is a problem with drainage of the lymphatic system, so your testicles swell up with fluid that can't drain back to the body. That's really uncomfortable and it's usually related to parasites in Africa
Ooh.
and South America.
I've seen some pictures of that. It's not
Yeah.
pretty.
Is it possible to give yourself a prostate exam?
We can try.
so.
It's
so.
That's one of the other questions. I didn't get to this on the show with you. The average male. Please audit this for me.
You want to try something?
Yeah, yes. The average male thinks the prostate exam takes more than a minute. Now, to me, that's foreplay.
Yes.
Right.
But
You're doing too
it
much.
takes like 10 seconds to do a prostate exam. I don't know what's going
At
on.
what age
Mine's
should you do that?
so prostate exam should start by the time you're about 50.
Yeah, I told you. But
That's late to be getting your butt played with.
Yeah, but you're not going to find much out before then. And we used to do it earlier, but we don't find a lot of stuff till 50.
Okay.
And make sure that if the guy's both hands on your shoulders, that's not good either. Right.
You know, it's funny. I went to the doctor this weekend for my checkup.
No hands.
And I asked him because I thought that you check early. He was like, "No, you don't do it until you're 50 unless somebody in your family has a problem or there's symptoms that you have."
Well, how
No.
can you tell? Like, what do you feel that something's
So
wrong?
there's the prostate has 2 little side rounded surfaces to it. So you're supposed to feel both of those rounded surfaces. You're not supposed to feel anything that feels like it's an acorn or a marble. But that's the old joke that I can tell on this show. I usually can't tell this joke, but why did some doctors use 2 fingers when they do your rectal exam?
Why?
Charlemagne?
Why do some doctors use 2 fingers?
Second opinion.
So if your doctor's doing it before the age of 50, he's looking for a good time.
No, doctors sometimes do it earlier than that if it's a family history.
Cute.
African Americans have a
patient's
higher incidence, right? African Americans have a higher incidence of prostate cancers. You might do it there. But listen, this is the real issue. The reason there's so much debate over this blood test, the PSA test, is that men don't realize that prostate cancer doesn't kill you usually. In our big survey we did, that was part of the survey that Charlemagne was part of, we asked over 1,000 men these questions. 80% of men think if you have prostate cancer and don't have surgery, you're going to die.
Right.
Not true. In fact, there was a big study that showed that if you get surgery versus radiation versus just watching it, the survival rate at 10 years was the same. So it's dangerous, but you don't have to jump into it. Don't overreact. Whether you find something on a prostate exam or if you find a cancer from the blood test, you can't. You get too aggressive too quickly. Ben Stiller, the actor, talked about his prostate cancer this month, and he went 18 months after his blood test before he did anything about it because he wanted to just watch and see if lifestyle would turn it around. And we're learning in cancer more and more, lifestyle makes a huge difference. Even sleep, by the way, makes a difference in how you cope with cancer.
So just diet, sleep, those things really make a big difference?
Gargantuan. Sleep not only does, I mentioned, cause the flu, but it literally does cause some cancers if you don't get enough of it because it weakens your immune system.
Why on American Pie did Stifler like getting prostate exams? And he was actually like ejaculating when he was getting them.
Because
Well,
you have nerve endings back there.
So
that
the
can
G-spot,
stimulate it.
you know where the G-spot is, right?
Not in me.
Not in
Yes,
you.
it is.
There, you have a G-spot too. Women have a G-spot that's on the just behind the. If you put your finger into the uterus and you sort of pull up towards yourself, the G-spot's there usually in women. In males, the G-spot's on the prostate. So men have a G-spot that can be stimulated through the rectum. It's just that's not how men normally get excited, but it does happen sometimes.
Can I like examine my boyfriend if I'm like, listen, I'm concerned. Let me just check in there since you
encourage that.
Not with those nails. Not with those nails you've got.
Yeah,
that are pointed and long like that. That would be uncomfortable.
Now I had a question for
But
you.
no, Dr. Oz, you actually encouraged that on the show. When I did your show, you were saying that you should have your partner do the exams on you.
But you said prostate. I said testicles. Yes.
Oh, prostate.
I wouldn't examine
Either
his
or.
Yeah. Well, no, testicles for sure. You should examine him. In fact, you're probably a better detective than he is. But with for a prostate exam, you really want to wear a glove and not have nails like yours.
Yeah, how would you have that conversation? I'm just curious.
I'd be like, I'm concerned about your health.
Bend over.
Yeah, come over here. Bend over.
Tell him you want to eat his.
Now I want to
start
ask you
that
about
way.
this. So I do, Dr. Oz.
Is that
I do
healthy, Dr.
no.
Oz?
I think
That's big in hip-hop right
Yeah, is that right?
Yeah.
Can't you get a bacterial
Eating the
infection
booty
from
like
that?
groceries.
Like E. coli or
He eats all
something?
the butt. He eats a lot.
Well,
all the
in
butt.
fairness, it's the same bacteria that you have in your body anyway, so it's not as dangerous as people might think.
Oh.
But it's probably not it's not a healthy behavior on the surface.
Dr. Oz, I have to ask you this question. So I have this podcast called Lip Service, and we had a woman on the other day, and she says she has a really big clitoris. Mm-hmm. And
No, really big, Dr. Oz.
Now
Like,
this
A
kind of
little
looks.
penis.
Yeah.
She said it kind of looks like a little penis. I want to show
does.
you a picture of it and tell me, is this something that should be a concern?
Poor
That-
Dr. Oz.
what- I mean,
Poor Dr. Oz.
How do I
That's
get?
what
How do I?
women-
How do I? Yes, that's. So
Is that like on average?
no, that's significantly larger. The
So
fact.
that is really just a regular.
She should
No,
put some
I'm
ice
not.
on
I'm
that
not
thing.
sure that's regular. Let me just say, I think this is it's a really a miracle that we become males and females because we differentiate in our mother's womb because we're all born, we're created the same, and then we split. So sometimes
Dr.
that's
Oz, look at this. This is not just a regular.
no, that's not. But sometimes these things get the process doesn't complete, and so you're left in the middle somewhere. We've done shows on that.
But she's in the middle. They're in the middle.
They're in the middle more. But again, people have lots of problems coping with this because they're not seeing. They want to sort of be in one group or the other, and they can't. And probably 1% of the population is not clearly in one group or the other,
Right.
and they hurt themselves because they feel badly about it. Which is, don't do that. It's,
Well, it works out well for her. I think she makes a lot of money.
It might be
Because-
good for her in her
Yeah,
career,
for
and she's
her.
found her path in life. God bless her. But there are a lot of folks sitting at home right now listening who might feel that way about themselves, and it's dangerous for them.
So that's not a clitoris. That's like,
I think
because she said it's just enlarged, like it's just
No,
bigger.
I think it is a clitoris as I look
Okay.
at it. It's just that it
I
was
looked
it
at
was
it.
moving in the other direction a little bit, and maybe from exposure of testosterone in utero. Hey, I'll give you a little test that's a little more easy to talk about. So hold your fingers in front of you like this. Hold your right finger. Now, is your index finger longer or shorter than your ring finger?
Which one is my index?
The second, and the fourth.
Your ring finger.
This one.
Yes,
Mine is.
Yes, mine's longer than all my other fingers.
your ring finger is the longest,
I don't know what is mine.
and you
Mine
the,
is almost the same.
the same.
What's that mean? I got a big clit?
No, it means that you have a small clit.
Okay.
Because so for men, the ring finger is supposed to be longer.
Yeah.
For females, the index finger is supposed to be longer. But sometimes we flip. Sometimes, we're just because we were exposed to hormones differently when we were in a mother's belly.
Am I a woman?
So what does this mean,
You're-
Dr.
you're
Oz?
much
Look at
more
my fingers.
feminine.
What does this
I'm
mean?
a-
No,
feminine?
you're a classic male. Charlemagne's classic male.
Classic male, baby.
I've always heard you could tell how big a guy's penis is from his index finger.
I'm a feminine.
I don't think
I'm
that's true.
feminine.
Now, you had
Let's
Donald
think
Trump
about
on.
it. Yes, I did.
He's healthy. He's ready to go. He looked kind of unhealthy. I'm gonna be honest with you.
According to his medical notes and the questions I asked him, he's healthy and he's good enough to run and be president. And Secretary Clinton, similarly, her medical notes are pretty comprehensive. I know people get nervous about both of them, and they are older than our usual candidates, but they're both plenty healthy to be president.
He looked a little overweight though.
Well, he admitted that. He said he's 15, 20 pounds overweight, but that's probably typical for a lot of Americans. I mean, I think, weight's an issue that a lot of folks have to deal with as they go through life. The problem is when you're young and have weight, then it gets even more difficult when you get older, which is, again, going back to sleep again, things like sleep, dumb mistakes like that can cost you a lot because when you don't sleep, you crave carbohydrates.
Yeah.
And we also set up this all month on the show. We're doing food hacks.
Right.
We got the best chefs in America coming on to talk about how you can make your meals in 15 minutes or less and save money. But we're also going to walk you through some of the big food stores. How can you get the healthy food even in fast food places and not put weight on? because it's a big crisis. And most of the weight we'll gain this time of year. Next 2 months, almost all the weight gain for the whole year. Wow. So if you don't gain weight over the holidays, you don't have to go on a diet in January because you're going to weigh the same as you did before the holidays.
I saw you did you're doing this also 3-day reset.
Yeah.
For people, so I was taking a look at that as well.
I love that.
I do that all the time.
In 3 days, you can reset the gut bacteria because our bacteria in our gut do most of our digestion. We outsource digestion. And so if we can get the bacteria to behave themselves, they'll work better for us. So if you eat the right kinds of foods, things like alliums. You know what alliums are? Leeks and onions and garlics. These are foods that go into our gut and feed the good bacteria. Within 3 days, you can reset that system. So if you go to I have an app. Go on my app. You'll find the 3-day reset challenge there. All of our recipe plans are there. And lots of great advice. Download the app, take advantage of it, be part of the community, but most importantly, hack your food so you naturally are going to lose weight without working hard at it.
Now, Thanksgiving is coming up. How can people eat healthy for Thanksgiving if that's possible?
You should.
Who the hell eats healthy on Thanksgiving?
Don't. Here's the thing. Nothing's healthier than laughing and having a good time with your family over a meal. Mm-hmm. So don't diet on Thanksgiving. But don't do dumb things before Thanksgiving and between Thanksgiving and Christmas, which is what most of us do. We get tired. Mm-hmm. We start having to go to a lot of office parties, drink too much at those parties without that. We have a hedonistic drive to eat that's unleashed by the extra alcohol in our blood. Right? So I always tell people, always have a glass of water between each drink. It'll keep the hangover down, but also
stop you from drinking.
Exactly, and fight for your sleep over the holidays. Because when if you're not sleeping enough, you're going to gain weight naturally. You have more time to eat, and you'll eat the wrong things.
Gotcha. Now this weekend, tell the people where you're going to be at and what's going on and how they can come by and support and possibly get one of these sleep better thingamajiggies.
That's right. So I'm going to be at the Sheraton in Times Square. Mm-hmm. It's a big iHeart event. Lots of wonderful musicians, obviously, because it's iHeart.
That's 53rd and 7th.
53rd and 7th. And we're going to be playing it up with, besides giveaways like the ResMed S Plus device, we're going to have lots of booths there. Not booze. Charlemagne, booths.
Boobs.
Yeah,
boobs. Boobs. Okay.
Stands. People at stands.
You know what boofing is? Speaking of prostate exams, boofing was when you would stick things in your ass to hide them, like when you wanted to get them in the club.
How do you even know these things? Is there a Charlemagne Urban Dictionary for Charlemagne? You have a whole section for you in there.
No, boofing is when you used to stick stuff in your ass to like hide stuff from.
Like hide drugs.
Hide drugs.
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible. I've had no personal experience with boofing.
But that's not the type of booth he's talking about.
Yeah, I know.
Booth, okay.
So
12 to 4.
12 to 4, all afternoon long. And we'll have to take pictures. I'll be talking for a while about things that can make you healthy, but I'm going to take questions from the audience as well. So be part of the party. And before I forget, next Thursday, I'm out. If you're out in Morristown, if you're anywhere in the tri-state area, come visit me at the Mayo Performing Arts Center in Morristown. We'll be
New Jersey.
It's a great place. I'll be taking questions, lots of photos, but also I'll be talking to folks about how they can live the good life. Okay. And these are great events that are, they make you feel better when you leave them. And I don't get to do too many of them. It's this time of year where I get to go out and play a little more. So come join me.
Okay, there you have it.
Dr. Oz.
Dr. Oz, it's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club. Every weekday morning. Tune in.